Okay guys, so welcome back to our Macadel online class, and this is going to be our hoodie cutting class. All right, so I'll be teaching you how to cut your hoodie, and this hoodie you can actually cut it like you can use one. You don't have to like double it. Like you can use a lining on one side, you can also use the same fabric on one side, and you can choose not to even use a fabric on the inside, like make it just one side. Do you understand? So it all depends on, maybe another video I'll try to do the one you can just do it one and all that, but this one I'm doubling it, right? So the inside is going to be the same fabric. So what I did was just fold my fabric one time, and I folded it a second time again, so I have like the two sides here. All right, so the measurements you need for this hoodie, first of all, is going to be your I'm going to be showing you a video on how to take this measurement. It's going to be up on your screen. So let's just pause and get that done. Okay, or I'll put it anyway. So the measurement you need is going to be your measurement of your head, from the neck, from one of your neck to the other side of your neck. All right, like I said, you're going to see a video of that before. Of course, maybe you've already seen a video of that before you started. So it's from one side of your neck to the other side of your neck, and then you're going to be having from your the one side of your eyebrow level to the other side, round your head to the other side of your eye brow level, or like ear to ear, that kind of a thing, but a bit out. So just exactly like that video said. So basically what we need is your length, and it's going to be your length. The side that we're taking from our neckline to the other neckline is your length, and the side we are taking round your head is going to be the width, and it's all going to be divided by 2. And then we will now get to add other measurements to it. All right, so now that measurement we took from neck to neck is going to be our length. All right, so in her case it was 27 inches, so we'll divide it by 2, and I'm having 13 and a half. So from the top here, I'm marking 13 and a half, and I'm going to be adding 1 inch for sewing allowance. All right, I'm adding half an inch at the top to join, and half an inch again at the down. So I'm going to be having 14 and a half inches. All right, so I'm going to be marking that now. So I've marked 14 and a half, and I'm going to extend it into a straight line. All right, so now for the width, that's the length. So now for the width, we had 21, that's round the head. Okay, so 21 divided by 2 is 10 and a half. So we're going to add 1 inch to it, and we're going to be having 11 and a half. Okay, so that 1 inch is sewing at the back and also joining at the front. So we're having 11 and a half. Okay, so with that, now I'll turn it into a straight line. Okay, so we have our width and our length. So I'll just cut it off so it doesn't get confusing. So now I have everything I need to create the hooded part of the jacket here. Okay, so now the next thing, remember, if you watch the other video, you would have seen that we took a measurement. That measurement we took, we are going to apply it here. Okay, so in my case, that measurement I took was 2 inches. This is going to be my down part. So I've applied it here. This is going to be the top, the head. This is my CF, this is my center front, or wherever you want to choose as your center front. So if I flip it over, since I already have this cut out, I can use this as my CB and CF. All right, so let's use this as a back. So that's different, remember, that we took when we were making. If you don't remember it, please go back and watch your videos, you will see it. That's the difference there. Okay, that's the difference. And I said these are CF. So in this this difference that we used now, this is what we're going to use to create our front and our back. All right, so we're now going to take our front neck measurement. All right, so when you're taking your measurement, please stop where the zip is going to stop. Okay, you're just measuring from where you have this your zip. I folded it inside, okay, where we marked. That's where the measurement is going to start. Let me notch it. I like notching it so I don't forget that that's where my zip is. Like I said, notches should be a part of everything we do. Okay, so we're going to measure it all the way to this point. Remember that you're also going to be having half an inch sewing at that point, so you're going to take it off. So mark your half an inch, because that's where your measurement is starting. You're not measuring everything, so you're measuring from that half an inch and you're stopping at this. Okay, so you can keep your tape this way and go around it. Right, go around it and find whatever you have at that point. So I have about 5.5 in my case, 5.5 plus a tiny one. So please measure this as much as you can. You need it. Just make sure that, because if you don't get it right, then you end up with some excesses and all that. Okay, so I have 5.5. All right, so that 5.5 that I have, I'll come here and I'll mark it. Okay, so I'll come there and I'll mark it. That's my 5.5. So at that point, I'll still recheck it at the end of the day. I'll just create a light curve here. Have you seen that? I will still check this curve to make sure that I have 5.5, because if I don't have it, I'll just make sure that what I have is still 5.5. So I'm going to still measure the curve, and if to check that what I have is just exactly what I need to have. So I'm starting from here. Remember also, please, when you're doing this, that you're going to take your half an inch into consideration. So from here, I can mark out my half of an inch. Remember that we're going to be sewing that half of an inch off. Okay, so your 5.5 should actually start from here, please, so that we don't run into any issues. So mine is, I think it's just perfectly okay. So I've moved it a bit back, you know, because that's where my tape is stopping now. So if your tape, just make sure, because it has to be a curve, so try and make sure it stops exactly there. So from that point, so now this is what we have, right, plus half of an inch. So from this point, you're going to also take your back measurement, because the remaining has to be your back. So like I also said, please don't forget that you're sewing off half of an inch. Okay, for the back, you can leave it there, because that will be the half an inch, you know, that makes up the back. So you also take your measurement for the back. And for the back, I have 4 3/4. All right, so here I'm going to come from this line and place my 4 3/4 for the back. So that is it. So I'm going to be having this, you know, like this. So if you measure everything, you should be able to have that. So once I have this, I will come here. So now we have, like I said, this has to be a bit covered, so we have that. I will now come here. I will divide what I have here into 2. All right, that will be 6 3/4. Okay, so measure what you have here from here to here. You can actually use your tape, okay, and mark the middle points. I divided it by 2. So you're going to create a curve. You can make it, don't make it too curvy, not like that. Okay, so at this back too, normally what I do from here, I just come in 2 inches at the edge here, just like angle 45, mark 2 inches at this point. You can actually turn it into that line. Okay, so that's it. Then I'll also still take from here back into this line. Okay, now if it's looking too curvy by the time you've done this, please use your, it is not meant to be like overly curvy, so I'll try to just straighten it out like this. Have you seen that? Because I don't want it to be too curvy, so I've really tried to create the head at that point. So here too, you're going to bring it back into this line as well. You see what I've done? So you're like creating that head curve. You know, that's how the back of the head is meant to be. That's what I have created there. Okay, so most times when people tell you here at the front, they just want to, you know, give it this, they come like 1.5 inch, sorry, 3/4 inches down or half. See what I've done? You know, they just give it this just to create that bit of a curve there. So if you want to, you can as well do that. And please, you're not limited to this length that we took. You can make it longer, you can make it, you can even leave this as it is. It's it just be creative. It's all however you want to do it. So if also to, before I sign off on this, we're done with our hoodie actually. You know, you can actually also take off your pin this. If I pin it out, I'm going to take it off there as well. So assuming I've already sewn it, because when you're fixing it, that's how it's going to be. Okay, so if I have already stitched it now, meaning I've also stitched this, so if I'm putting anything here, I'm going to be starting at 1/2 inch. Okay, so I want to check, because all these things you still need to check. Okay, so I place it, I've sewn off my 1/2 inch, that's my back. All right, so I'll place it to check. I've also pinned the C, so already it's already staying there. Once you, but please sure you see I marked half before I pinned, so check. All right, so here also, let me not do, so that you just won't go and mark anything. Place it and also mark at your 1/2 inch. Okay, so once you've done that, place your neck, the back there. That's what I'm doing. This is called the checking method. All right, so you check, run it around, so that when you fix it, you're not having any issues. You already know that you perfectly have what you want. Okay, so that's what you do, you check it, and once you're sure that you have it, then we're going to cut it out. Okay, so I've adjusted mine from checking, so I had to just add a bit to it. So once you're sure of what you have, then we can go ahead. Remember, you had added all your allowances here, so I don't need to add any more allowances to it. Okay, so that's it. Our hoodie is actually ready. So like I said, if you want, you can actually, you know, slant this a bit in. I'm not doing it too much because I'm okay with how it is already, so I'll just trim it off. Okay, so that's it. So that's the hoodie. So if you want it bigger, you can actually make it bigger. So already I'm taking off 1/2 inch here, and I'm taking off 1/2 inch here. She's a young person, she's not like a big girl. So in my own case, I have done 4 of it. So the inside, I'm knitting it with the same fabric, so I have 4 of that. All right, so that's it. Our hoodie is ready, and of course fits in perfectly into, so let me just put this before we sign off. Right, so this is what So that's actually what you're going to be having. All right, so that will be the head part, and this is it. And we also have our sleeve coming there. All right, so as usual, it's been a Macadel online training, and we have actually learned how to make a one side, as into cut rather, how to we've been on how to cut a one-sided bomber jacket, not reversible, one-sided bomber jacket with a hoodie. All right, and a sleeve. So the next thing, the next class we're going to be having is going to be how to sew. And like I had said earlier, please, if you haven't joined us on YouTube, please check out our YouTube channel at Macadel Fashion School. We have videos there as well for you, and we're actually even going to be bringing more videos. So those are free classes, so you can watch, you know, and then some of the things you don't understand, you can actually ask me questions. So please, wherever you haven't, like I said, watch this video, because if you still ask me any question, I'll still refer you back excuse me, to what we have done. So watch it, and then if you don't understand it, then you can send your questions to me, and I'm always here to answer it. So my name is Nita, your physical and online instructor, and it's been nice having you in my class, and I hope I'll be seeing you in more classes. All right, so see you in the sewing class.